Hello, everyone. For my literature review, I chose to look at the effect of socioeconomic status on college choice. So my research question is, to what extent does socioeconomic status affect college choice? And I will be looking at this through the lens of EMI, which is effectively maintained inequality. So according to Lucas, EMI, or effectively maintained inequality, is meaning socioeconomically advantaged actors securing for themselves and their children some degree of advantage, wherever advantages are commonly possible. So within this really can be quantitative or qualitative, as we know. In reference to quantitative, this could mean the number of years in school or the number of years in a certain program or something like tutoring. And then qualitative is really program quality and any other sort of resources one can gain by looking in something like prestigious private schools, especially in the United States context. Instead of going to a public school, they can send their kids to a private school or choosing to live in an area where there are high performing schools. In addition, Lucas also talks about parental status and how that is passed on to their student until they create their own status, and then that status will be the student's. In addition, EMI also highlights inequality in schools, but it can go beyond education into fields such as healthcare. So two key terms to note are socioeconomic status, which according to the American Psychological Association is social standing or class of an individual group often measured as a combination of education, income, and occupation. So when I am referring to socioeconomic status, that is what I mean. And then in terms of college choice is the higher education institution that a student chooses to attend after graduating high school or completing a high school equivalency program. So several things that I noted within my research I'm going to go over. The first thing is attainment gap. So students from higher socioeconomic status groups are likely to attend more prestigious universities, and students of low socioeconomic status tend to not perform as well as peers, thus limiting their access to college. So some things that can affect this attainment gap are high stakes testing, parental expectations, and current pedagogical practices. In addition, this also includes tracking, which I'm going to go over later, but in tracking students through these high stakes testing, it may put them in categories that limit their attainment gap or even further exacerbate this attainment gap. So the next category that I am looking into is access. So through the lens of EMI, access is a huge component that limits students' college choice or gives them more choice. So access, such as things as exposure to university and parental conversations, these are important indicators, and parents play a huge role in students' socioeconomic status, as according to Lucas, the parental status is passed on to their students. Low-income students tend to undermatch when choosing their university, so they actually tend to choose universities that are below what they could achieve. This also goes along with environment attitude, so the kind of portrayal that a student sees and how they see themselves within education and higher education. There are several programs that look to create more access for students with low socioeconomic status, such as Find the Fit, according to Martinez, and Upward Bound. In New York, we also see NY Gear Up and things such as these, which hope to create more access for students from lower socioeconomic status. And then other barriers that exist. A place of residency has been found to be a large limiting factor in choosing where students go to pursue higher education. For example, if a student grows up in a more rural upbringing, they might not know that they can go to other places because this is where they've grown up, and they look to find institutions that are similar to that background. In addition, finances. Students may choose institutions that they see as cost effective, or they might just see the price tag and not know that there are scholarships or grants available, which also falls under the access category. Educational transitions and tracking, as I mentioned before, also can have a negative effect on low socioeconomic status students. Low socioeconomic status students are often tracked into lower classes or lower programs or attend schools without these high achieving programs. In addition, along with transitions, moving schools or districts can play a large role in student achievement and also grade retention. So how does this relate to EMI? So students from higher socioeconomic statuses tend to gravitate toward more prestigious universities, and that solidifies their status, thus keeping their resources and maintaining their status. Also, with parents, as I've discussed before, parents play a huge role in perpetuating the cycle of EMI as they pass their status on to their children. Some challenges to EMI that I've seen through my research is that when it comes to higher education, EMI is not always continuous and it kind of falls into ebbs and flows. And it can create large gaps and it can create small gaps depending on the saturation of certain levels. And then, so this is the literature that I've reviewed, and here are my resources.